difficult and challenging conversation that Sarah Jane Mida has been holding with various different personalities within our political landscape. But today, in London, in the UK, we have one of Sierra Leone's finest, politically inclined, and somebody who has been in a position for a time, and she's none other than
Mrs. Mariana Lowe Bangura.
Mariama Lowe. Welcome to the program and welcome to The Lamp. The Lamp is a program brought by Sarah Jane Mida just to learn and make progress in some of the things that we are going through as Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora. And now today you are one of the diasporans who has been representing Sierra Leone in a political party, I would say one of the greatest political parties in Sierra Leone, which is the APC. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mariana Lowe Bangura, currently the National Women's Leader for the All People's Congress. I have served as the National Women's Leader in the United States for 2 terms, and I left there to contest in Sierra Leone. And of course, this is my 2nd year. Looking forward to a 2nd term.
Wow. So what has the journey been like from the transition of being a leader in America and then now a leader nationally?
Well, honestly, it's a huge difference when you compare our politics in the diaspora and politics in Sierra Leone. It's different. Here in the diaspora, of course, you talk about issues, you talk about your objectives, your goals. People want to hear, what you can do, and they also want to see you implementing those goals or objectives that you have. People more or less want to see if you can match your word with your action. They don't depend on your money. They don't care. I mean, it's all about talking about the issues. Whereas in Sierra Leone, of course, I cannot, I will not blame anybody in Sierra Leone because of the situation, the financial hardship. People, you cannot go to talk about politics without money. And I have seen the struggles of women in Sierra Leone, and I can understand. And that is the reason why I'm there, to see how best I can alleviate some of the issues, the problems, the suffering of women in Sierra Leone. So when you look at politics in the diaspora and politics in Sierra Leone, they are different. The needs, we're talking about the needs of the women, even though we're trying to change the dynamics right now, the narrative, we want women to pay attention to the issues. Yes, there are financial hardship, there are difficulties, but we also want them to pay attention to what are we going to bring to the table? How do we want to change the political landscape for women in Sierra Leone? And I think we have done significantly well somehow. I left the United States. I went to Sierra Leone. When I got there, I saw the way the things are. People pay attention to, we call them the stereotypical gender roles.
What are some of them?
Those stereotypical gender roles, or can cook, those kind of things,
okay.
And
like
even when they aspire for position, women congress and treasurer, those kind of things, But now, to be honest, since my time in office, I have seen women have developed confidence, and that is what I'm looking forward to, because when I was the National Women's Leader here in the United States, when I started my term, women were not that active, and they were not, I don't know how to say it, they don't have the zeal.
Okay.
So, but with time, based on some of our initiatives, some of our initiatives bring out those women from their closets, from their hiding places, and they came out. And now, you by just looking at the makeup of our executive in USA, you find out that we have women's chairman, president of different chapters. You see them in different positions, and I am looking forward to more women participating, in the upcoming elections or conventions, not in that stereotypical gender role anymore, but aspiring for the presidency, the chairman, whatever, whether in the district level or chapter level. So also in Sierra Leone, as I said, when we started, it was different, but now we've built their confidence. We've even went to the extent, I have few events that, fundraising events that we tried by all possible means to raise funds for women in this different region. We have an event in the Eastern region, Western region, and Northwest. What is the purpose for those fundraising events? Is to raise funds for those women to help them in their political activities. So I think that's the difference. In America, I don't need to raise money for anybody to help them in their political campaigns or whatever. Whereas in Africa, Sierra Leone, for example, they don't have it and they need it. Yeah.
So do you think I can see the energy and the vibrance in the way you speak about women getting involved in the frontline politics in Sierra Leone. Do you think your energy has brought some of those changes?
Yes, because first of all, when I came in, my campaign message was to have an all-inclusive Congress. And I think I have done my Congress. When I talk about my Congress, I'm talking about my team, the executive, the National Women's Congress, led by me. We have done a whole lot, We have taken Congress even to the world level. We've crisscrossed the entire Sierra Leone, bringing awareness to women that, okay, if you are a constituency women's leader, if there's a meeting, you have to sit there and listen because you're representing a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just go to the backyard and, and cook and where they're making decisions. And so you're there to listen and participate in the decision-making process. So they are aware of that now. They're well aware of that. So when we crisscross the entire Sierra Leone, of course, the purpose of our visits to all these places is to find out what is their constraints. Why are women not participating? We want to know the reason why we don't have that many women participating. Okay. We want to hear their concern, their cries, their difficulties. Of course, there are lots of difficulties our women are facing. So yes, we took Congress to the last woman in the ward, and I'm doing the same thing here because try to make true my promise that we will have a whole inclusive Congress because this Congress is for progress. Okay. Yes.
So at the end of the day, do you think there's a disadvantage in terms of the intellectual capacity of the women that are in the interiors of Sierra Leone that might not have the opportunity to educate themselves?
Well, this is why it's a very interesting question. Sometimes they say women don't have the capacity to participate. They're not that educated. And I think they're using kid gloves, when it comes to men. Whereas when it comes to women, for example, me sitting here talking to you right now, there'll be somebody out there dotting my I's, crossing my T's, okay? Whereas if it was a man sitting here, no, they'll just listen to the message, they pay attention to the message. Take, for example, members of parliament. Do you know how many men are in parliament right now that have never say a word, but they will point fingers on women that have not said a word? Yes, we have, when it comes to education, yes, we have limitation. Majority of us are not that educated. But, they're not literate, because let me take the word. There's a difference between education and literacy. even though a lot of them are not literate, but majority of them are educated. Educated in the sense they can manage a whole lot of organization, they manage their affairs, they manage their community, they are leaders in their community. So to say education, yes, and we're encouraging our young women to be educated, because I'm big with education. And that is why we also are working, Congress is working on adult education right now. That's one of my programs as well. We're training the trainers right now, and hopefully, by the grace of God, before the end of June or something, we'll probably be able to start our program. We have come up with a lot of initiative, and like I said, we're doing a little bit of fundraising. We want to try to start this microcredit scheme for them, instead of going out there to this big financial institution, take loans that.
So that is all being done within the party structure?
Within the Congress.
Okay.
The Congress structure, yes. Okay. So yes, education is very important. Yes, it's an impediment, but it should not be used as as a factor not to give a woman a position just because of that. Because if you can give a man the same position, a man that is not educated that much, why not a woman?
Okay.
So
that's pretty interesting. And I know for sure you've been looking at that very much intensely.
Yeah.
When we talk about the interiors of Sierra Leone when it comes to women participating in politics.
Yeah.
So I know you spent a lot of time in the States and you've been actively involved with Sierra Leone politics, especially with the APC. Mm-hmm. How do you feel to be a representation from the diaspora, leading a whole women's wing in Sierra Leone as one of the biggest challenges that diasporans have been faced with? So
this is why I tell diaspora, as I said, you know what? I'm supposed to be like your, how do I call it? I'm an example that, yes, you can leave the diaspora and go to Sierra Leone and actually hold a very significant position. Ask me, how did I get there?
How did you get there?
So yes, but that's why I keep telling them. When I see a lot of my brothers and sisters from the diaspora going to Sierra Leone contesting for different kind of position, and majority of them have not talked to me, I told them, I said, you're missing the mark.
Yeah.
Ask me, how did you get there? So yes, I came to the United States when I was like 28 years of age. And I've never left my people. That's the honest truth. Before I became a politician, I'm a philanthropist. Okay. I've done a lot of things, like building schools, giving scholarships. I've always been with my people. There's not a time I've ever left my people. So it makes it easier for me when I went there to say, this is what I want. Of course, I'll have their support because I've never left them. So if you want to go to Sierra Leone and contest, make sure that when you're in the diaspora, you don't forget your people. Okay. I think that is the way, if you're really serious about politics in Sierra Leone. And I remember when I went for this position, people would tell me that, you think you're going to do well in this position? You think you even succeed? I laughed because a lot of them did not know me.
Okay.
But I've been with my people and I've never left them.
So you're saying, message to the diaspora, don't forget
your people.
You keep your roots.
Yes. Okay. I have a base.
You're talking about a base. I know many politicians in the diaspora, not just in the diaspora, but in Syria, they don't have a political base. What's the importance of having a base in politics?
How can you lead? How can you lead if you don't have a base? People should see you involved in your community. That is the example, because me being, for example, I came from Poloko, born in Kono, raised in Freetown, but my mother is from Makite, a village called Makite in the Poloko district. Ever since I was a child, I go there on holidays, and when I came to the United States, I am involved in every aspect when it comes to their school, building mosques, helping them here, helping them there. So it tells, in fact, as a matter of fact, they call me, my people call me first before I even think about women's, being the national women's leader of the party. Yes, I was the national women's leader of the APC USA Women's Wing, but they called me to go and contest, for a seat in parliament because of the things that I've done for them, the way I'm involved with them. So that is my base. It gives an example, even for an outsider, to say, look at what Mariama is doing in Makite. Look at what Mariama is doing in Podoko district. That is my base. It gives an example of the kind of leader I am by just my actions, my activities, my initiative in my community.
Right. I saw you in Freetown during the campaign period.
Yes.
And you being the women's leader in opposition. I know say Salone gets your own challenges in various different contexts. How you did maneuver yourself in Salone, specifically when you went to Freetown to run a campaign in opposition? What did it been like? So
this is what happened with the Congress, okay? We had our the convention. Immediately after the convention, we have our International Women's Day. So some of the things that we do, people are telling me that these are novelties, never happened in the Congress, but we celebrated the International Women's Day. And we did not only celebrate the International Women's Day, for every event that we have, we'll have a position paper, and we'll come up with action plans and stuff like that, things that we'll implement. Then after the International Women's Day, what happened? The campaign. We are the only, because I don't want to know about, I don't want to talk about other organs, but our organ actually has a campaign plan.
Okay.
We create a campaign strategy. We raise our own funds and we implement everything to the letter. We were one of the most effective organ within the party during the campaign period. And we went, I don't think there is any district that we did not get ourselves involved in our campaign. We did not only do the campaign, we also do voters teachings, voters education, so many things, how to vote, so many things. We were really, really involved. And that was part of our campaign strategy. And as I said, we implemented everything to the letter.
Well, to back you up on that, I think I saw you in several campaigns on the road.
Yes,
and you were like on it, on the go, and always prepared and ready. So what are some of the challenges as a diaspora to operate in Sierra Leone as a women's leader nationally?
Well, some of the challenges that we have, diaspora have in Sierra Leone, is how to get connected. For me, the diaspora is a very, very, very important segment of the party. Very, very important part of the party. But I think they lack the connection.
Okay.
They lack the connection in the sense, I don't want to blame them, but I think if the diaspora will be more involved into certain things, diaspora has the brain power, they have the financial power, but the way and manner they're using these resources, I think it's not helping.
Okay.
Take for example, whenever we raise money, the 2 times that I've witnessed diaspora participation in Sierra Leone, one is the 2018 elections. They raised money, but guess what? The money was not used for the campaign, came last minute.
Okay.
It has no effect. 2023, the same thing, came late, has no effect. The timing is wrong. The timing is wrong, and I don't know how to say this, but I think it's like they're losing connection or they've lost connection, kind of. And now it's even getting worse, because I remember when I was the women's leader in United States, the things that we do, we were constantly involved in activities, raising funds for the party. And that is how I get connected to the party too, because you spend money at the right time, at the right moment.
Okay.
You know, take for example, when we have Ebola, we raise money for orphan children of Ebola victims. That was timely, we did it. We raised money for mudslide victims. That was timely, we did it. We were constantly involved in every penny that we raise it for purpose.
Okay.
And because of that, even the national executive, this is just the Women's Congress, right?
Right.
Because of our actions, the national executive were constantly on their toes, because they cannot just let us work.
Yeah.
They have to work. And also it's the Young Congress or National Youth League then.
Okay.
So, you know, we actually get them to work because of our own actions. But nowadays, the way I'm seeing things, I don't see that kind of competition anymore.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a bad competition. It was a very good competition, and the party was benefiting from it.
Right.
But now, when I look at the diaspora, you know, something needs to be done. I don't know how they can get themselves back together to actually work for the party.
Right.
And I think one of the things that are killing the party also is the different camps here, campism. You know, we have lost focus that our priority is the party. We always say APC big pass we all. But is that true? You know, for me, I'm seeing that people are putting individuals, you know, forward instead of the party, you know, allegiance to individuals rather than allegiance to the party. And that is affecting the party as well, you know. And if we don't actually address this situation that is prevalent right now, it's going to affect us in the future.
It's good that you mentioned that in your conversation when I asked about the diaspora's involvement, and now you mentioned the fact that the party is in some kind of turmoil when people are making self-proclamation in terms of following people instead of the party. I know there's a big shade over the political party itself as a party, and we've seen all what has conspired between the 2018 and 2023 elections to where the party stands right now. There is a big myth that many people don't want to talk about, which is the electoral justice, and I think that has been a discussion over the past couple of months, I would say to a year now. What's your take on it?
I am all for electoral justice because I'm a politician. I want a free, fair, credible elections. Why? Because what is democracy? Government of the people, for the people, by the people. Without that, we'll have no growth, no development, no prosperity. So I'm all for electoral justice. But this is the situation, what is killing me right now, and I keep telling people that is the cloud over our head right now. The divide, the deep divide within the party. And the pro-executive, I'm a member of the executive, pro-electoral Samura, because I don't want to say electoral justice, because we all want electoral justice. But I think it's about time we actually go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves, are we running a political party or country club? If we are actually running a political party, then we have to run our party like a real political party. We've gone through the elections, all political demarches, and you name it, down to the tripartite. It is done. The tripartite is done, tripartite recommendations. It is our responsibility as APCers, all of us, to ensure that the tripartite recommendations are implemented to the letter. Why do we want that to be done? Because what happened in 2023, we don't want that repeat. And that is where the diaspora also needs to come in, because what is all the talk in social media? Talk is just talk. You talk and it's done. What about action? What about if the diaspora 6th region, for example, you know, will come up with experts, people say, hey, party, we present them Monday, we don't Monday. We want to make sure, say, these, what they call it, the tripartite recommendations are implemented.
Okay.
We want, ask questions, how far are we? How far have we gone? That's electoral justice by itself. You understand? Then also, the party is it's an institution. Right. It has to be run. You cannot sit by and not run the party. In fact, we have a constitution that actually binds us. We have to adhere to our constitution. There are timelines that we need to adhere to.
Right.
Definitely, we have to register. We have to have our conventions. We cannot just sit by. No matter if we're going to fight for electoral justice or not, the party has to function.
Okay.
Okay? So, yes. For me, I think this is supposed to be like a two-pronged approach. We fight for electoral justice in the sense ensuring that we implement the tripartite committee recommendations, and at the same time ensure that the party function as a political party. So if you ask me, I want to appeal to us all as APCs.
You can do the appeal to the camera.
Yes.
So then exactly talking to the...
I want to appeal to all APCs. People always say you cannot cut your nose to spite your face. Yeah. APC is our party. If we care about the people of Sierra Leone, the hardship today, if you look at under 5 children's death, when they call children under 5 death, has risen, maternal death has risen. We have poor health care. Of course, the cost of living is intolerable. Mm. If we care about the people of Sierra Leone, and we know that only APC, when APC is in power, that our people will have the relief, you know, and even proud to say that I'm a Sierra Leonean. If we care about the people of Sierra Leone, this is not about an individual. This is not about, it is about the party. Whether you're pro-Samura, pro-executive, please, it's about time for all of us to come together and sit down. I always say that in America, whenever you have an event, even if it's a very small event, after the event, you go back and have a postmortem of the event. Yep. See whether you do well or not, and see how you could do better, you know, and look at all the mistakes and stuff like that. Yes, 2018, we had this mishap. 2023, we have this mishap. And we're talking about 2028. Excuse me. What is the plan and strategy for 2028? We have to go back. Let's sit down now and do a postmortem of 2018, 2023. See where we went wrong. What can we do better? This is not about individual, because as a matter of fact, it's so funny that we're fighting amongst us, but we are in opposition. And as a people, they're doing their own thing. They're still governing the country, poorly, making our country a drug hub. Our youth are dying with drug abuse, and you name it. But they're governing. But we're fighting. Does it make sense?
But do you think that is not a norm within our society? When an opposition is always an opposition, it means there's a lot of turmoil within that opposition.
I understand.
Governance is not the same anymore.
I understand. But how can you gain governance if you don't have a strategy? How can you, I mean, you cannot compare the fight of 2003, you cannot compare that fight to this fight. They were fighting for, the way I see it, it's not a personality fight.
Okay.
Maybe a different ideology, you know. But what we are doing right now, we're propagating individuals, not a party. And for everything that we do, every insult that we rain on our leaders, you understand, is at the detriment of our party.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, you know. Why can we talk about the drug infestation in our country, the Sierra Leone becoming a drug hub? Why can we talk about the hardship? the killings that are taking place right now. I saw, when was it? A couple of days ago, when I saw Mother convoy was passing through my own chiefdom. You kill people, you do not stop. You look at them like what? Like they're not human beings? These are the things I will talk about. The cost of rice. The cost of medical. In fact, we don't have medical. But all we talk about, Mami Kosnaya, talk about this, talk about... What good is it for the party? It's not helping us. It's at the detriment of the party. So for me, I'm appealing to all of us. Let's go back to the drawing table. Before, when we were growing up, it's all about the party. We talk about the party. Even our loved ones, our mothers, they will go to the market, they sell the lily and nothing, they come and give to the party.
Yeah.
They were not asking anybody to give them money.
Yeah.
All they care about is the party. They love the party so much. So let's go back and go back to our roots. That's who we are, APC. I cannot stop the fight within. You know, we cannot stop the fight within. But let's have a united front when we're fighting. The fight's supposed to be APC versus SLPP, because they stole the elections from us. Yeah. You know, instead of us fighting within. For me, it doesn't make sense at all. Okay. Yeah. So
now I only have two more questions for you. Okay. The one will be, are you still going to aspire to run?
Yes, yes, I am going for my second term. I am going for my second term. As I said, we promise to have an all-inclusive Congress, a Congress for progress. Our goal is to increase women participation in politics and also help them in every way we can, you know, to make them financially stable or secure to participate. And also advocate for their security, because that's another thing. A lot of women don't want to participate because they say it's toxic. For some of us, I mean, for me, I tell people, I have an iron rod back, so you cannot even break me. So you can do whatever, you can say whatever you want, but not all women are like that. Yeah. So we want to make the political space very conducive for women to participate. And we've started a very good work. When we came, even the office, the Congress office was in a shambles. So we renovated the office. Today you can go as a woman from the constituency, from the districts, wherever, from the diaspora, you have a space where you can go and do your thing. You have an office. And as I said, we have had a lot of different initiatives, and the newest initiative is this adult education. We have plans for the women to empower them and also to advocate for our 30%, which is the threshold. We want to see women, the 30% in every level, starting from the ward, the constituency, even when we come to power in cabinets and MDAs, you name it. So, and I will not rest until that happens, and that's the reason why I'm going back for my second term. Okay,
well, we wish you all the best on your second term, and hopefully you will win the position again and continue to support women in politics, especially women in APC. Yes. I know you're in the UK for a specific reason, again, something that is linked to what women are doing in politics. Yes. So tell us a little bit about that event and what do you think about the initiative of the event?
So I am here in the UK. This is my first official visits, you know, to an APC Diaspora Women's event. I am here to grace the event, and we want to tell the world that we, the women, are ready. And since we promised an all-inclusive Congress, I am here to make true my promise. And I'm calling on women in every area in the UK to come and participate, so that we as women they will see the unity. You know, we want the world to see the unity that, yes, the women are ready. And APC is not dead. It's alive and kicking. And we, the women, we are ready. And I mean ready to make sure that our party come back to power. These are just some of the steps that we're taking right now.
Okay.
So me, as the National Women's Leader, being in the UK to grace this occasion, I believe speaks volume that, yes, we are ready to take back power. Thank you.
Is there any specific message to the diaspora as a women's leader, national women's leader?
Well, my message to the diaspora, I want to tell the diaspora, say, do you want to pay attention to the things that really happen in Sierra Leone? No, not just talking more on our social media. Things that were significant. For example, I'll come back again for talk about this tripartite committee, the recommendations for make sure say we make sure say them implement them all before we go into the 2028 elections. Otherwise, if we not do that, we'll get a repeat of what happened 2023. We not don't do significantly well, now to support the party. But I also want to send message to the diaspora and say, now the party now can force, not to individual. We come together for support with party and ensure the party come back in power, come in the nearest future. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you in the Sierra Leone Media Studio, and we definitely hope to see you back again,
yes.
Not just here, but also in Sierra Leone.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, so thank you very much for watching, and that's Mariama representing the APC National Women's Leader, and we are hosting her today within the Lamp. So for another edition of Sierra Leone Media Live with the Lamp, have a good evening and good night.